Hello my lovely friends, and welcome back to another frugal money video. Now, it's no surprise that practicing frugality can help families save money, save time, and reduce waste. So in today's video, I want to share with you 21 frugal living habits to start in 2021, and I'm hoping I can cover this in less than 21 minutes. And these are just a few simple lifestyle changes that you can easily adopt this year that will not only impact your daily living, but also increase the amount of money you have in your wallet. Now, these are 21 habits that I have formed over the last couple of years that have transformed my finances and increased the amount of money I have available to fund things that I wasn't able to do before. So things like paying off debt a lot faster, going on holiday, and just having more financial freedom. Now, they're no in particular order. You can just pick and choose which ones you like and apply them to your life. So, tip number 1, become more aware of your spending habits. The easiest way to start a frugal lifestyle is to start by assessing some of your spending habits and your other financial behaviors. Emotional spending, or also known as retail therapy or impulse buying, is when someone spends money in reaction to their mood. Even a relatively small amount can add up. So a £10 impulse buy 3 times a week can easily add up to £1,560 a year. And prolonged retail therapy could have a negative impact in the long run, not only on your finances, but also on your mental health. So one way to combat the urge to shop is to recognize impulse purchases by asking yourself, do I really need this? And do I already have a variation of this item? And where there is a moment of hesitation, make the conscious decision not to make that purchase. I found that a lot of my previous spending patterns were from impulse purchases, and for every 4 purchases there were 1 or 2 that were impulse buys, and I genuinely didn't need them. This step alone really changed my money mindset, and that has been nothing but good for my wallet. Tip number 2, dress like a billionaire to save money on clothes. Many of us have spent a majority of our time working from home and have had no reason to have an extensive wardrobe. In fact, if you're anything like me, you may have found a new love for athleisure and have had no need to purchase any new formal work clothes. So maybe this year, challenge yourself and aim to dress like a billionaire. And no, that doesn't mean wearing a tuxedo or formal gowns everywhere. That could mean building a small capsule wardrobe with a few key pieces that can be mixed and matched. And of course, if you need to purchase new clothes, consider getting them from a charity shop. And if that makes you squirm, remember the golden rule when it comes to clothing. Fit is more important than brand. Tip number 3. Pay attention to how much you waste. Frugality and waste reduction go hand in hand. So become more intentional about the way you use products around the home. Think about how often you throw out food that has gone past its sell-by date. Even with other products, think about how often you replace something before it's completely finished. Like, for example, your toothpaste, your shampoo, and so forth. You might be shocked how much money is being wasted through excess purchasing. So challenge yourself to only purchase what you need and only purchase more when it needs to be replaced. Tip number 4, always think about the long term when you are making key decisions. For some people, when they think about frugality, all they can think about is being cheap. But there's actually a difference between cheapness and frugality. When you're cheap, you always look for a quick fix at the lowest cost. However, frugal people always look for value for the long term. And the solution might sometimes be an expensive option. So get into the habit of thinking long term when you're making big purchases. Things like appliances, cars, and even your own home. Think of them as long-term investments. It's not always about getting the cheapest item, it's about getting the most value out of said item. Tip number 5, never pay full price. Always shop around for coupons and deals when it comes to shopping for items that you already have on your list. It's important to note that just because there is something on offer does not mean it's a good deal for you. Unless the discount is on an item that you need, it's not worth buying it. That means it's important to understand and categorize things into wants and needs, and then start deciphering between the two. And then for the things that you actually actually need and are shopping for, always look for discounts and deals before you buy them. Tip number 6. Learn how to entertain yourself at home. It looks like we're going to be spending a lot of time in our houses this year, and it can be very tempting to continuously purchase things, especially when you have access to things at the click of a mouse or at the tap of your finger. Combine that with the next day delivery, you could end up entertaining yourself at a high cost. So get into the habit of looking for free ways to entertain yourself. It's important to realize that you don't need to spend a lot of money in order to be entertained. There are lots of free and simple ways to enjoy yourself with your family without even leaving your home. Create a movie night on the sofa, or have an online games night with friends over a Zoom call, and so forth. Tip number 7. Plan your supermarket trips right. When it comes to food shopping, try to go to the supermarket as infrequently as you possibly can. And when I say this, I mean maybe once every fortnight or once a month, or as least often as you possibly can. The benefit of doing this is that the less time you spend in the supermarket, the less likely you are to be tempted to buy something just because you've seen that there's a good deal available. So instead, just try to budget and create a shopping list that will last you for as long as you possibly can, and purchase these items in as fewer shopping trips as you possibly can. Doing one large grocery shop per week rather than several small ones could help to cut down on impulse buys, takeaways, and of course, wastage. To do that though, it could mean you have to plan ahead, such as by writing a weekly meal menu so you can get everything you need in one shopping trip. And if you have all the ingredients at your fingertips, it's easier to resist the temptation to order delivery or takeaway, right? It can be so much quicker and so much cheaper to cook a simple meal at home than it is to order via an app and then you have to wait for it to arrive. And the added benefit is this is a socially distancing friendly behavior which will limit your trips outside of your bubble. Tip number 8, take meal prepping to the next level. Start preparing as many meals as you can at once and store them for later consumption. You will find that this will not only save you time in the kitchen, but will also help ward off impulse takeaway food purchases. There is a large and enthusiastic community of meal prepper YouTubers, bloggers, and just general enthusiasts who like to swap recipes and ideas to help prepare a week, and sometimes longer. So find one that suits your personal circumstances and preferences and get meal prepping. And with that, tip number 9, make use of your leftovers. Look for recipes that help you repurpose excess food. This will help you cut down on wastage and therefore the amount of food you have to buy in the first place. You can also cook larger portions of your meals and freeze them to use as leftovers. My personal favorite meals tend to be tomato sauces, curries, and protein-based dishes, as they can all freeze very well and can also be handy lunch options. Then all I have to do is prep my rice, my pasta, or any other carb on the day. And this not only saves me money, but also saves me time that I'm spending in the kitchen. And whilst you're at it, tip number 10, buy produce in season. Buying produce in season often means that you are buying from local producers, which is a good thing. You can tell the seasonal produce because it's invariably the cheaper item available in the supermarket. So buy seasonal, local, and of course, it will save you money in the long run too. Tip number 11, make no spend, no buy challenges a regular occurrence. A no spend, no buy challenge enables you to save money quickly by limiting additional spend on non-essential items. This will of course have a greater impact the longer you do it. Now, there are no hard and fast rules on what and how long you can do the challenge for. You decide what you want to do and how long, then make it happen. Sometimes it's easier to stick to something if it's in the form of a challenge. If you're not sure how to start, why not check out this video where I share how you can begin a no spend, no buy challenge this year and save significant amounts of money. If a whole year intimidates you, try a no spend weekend or a no spend month to start with and then slowly build from there. Similarly, if you can't completely cut off your spending, then try out a low spend challenge. The principles are the same, but you set boundaries on how much you can spend on non-essential items. Tip number 12, declutter your digital space. It's important to be mindful of how you spend your time and who you spend it with. Frugal people surround themselves with people who have similar financial goals. And this can apply to real life, but now that we're spending a lot of time at home, it also applies to our digital lives as well. It can be so easy to get caught up watching people on social media spending hundreds and thousands of pounds on goods and services and flaunting it online. If you're constantly seeing people buying clothes and shoes online, this can leave you feeling you need to do the same thing and wanting to spend some time shopping. Trust me, I know this is human nature. So be intentional with who you are following and listening to online. Remember, frugality is all about value. So follow people who will teach you and inspire you to reach your financial goals. Look for other content creators teaching you how to live frugally and the practicalities of living a frugal life. And if you want to, you can find me on Instagram, where I pretty much post daily. I will link my page in the description box below. Also, don't forget to hit that like button if you are enjoying this content. Tip number 13, know your money like the back of your hand. Frugal people know down to the pence how much money they have coming in and how much money is going out each month. So get to grips with your finances and understand exactly how money passes through your hands. Find out exactly how much money you owe and how much you genuinely need to survive. Then work on reducing all of your non-essential spending. Understanding these things is what is going to help make changes to get you that bit closer to your financial goals. Tip number 14, learn to live below your means. Now that you understand your finances, make the effort to start living way below your means. Create a plan for your money and understand exactly how much you will spend on your fixed expenses, your fun money, and of course, your savings. The goal is to make sure that you are saving as much money as you possibly can. Tip number 15, stop purchasing single-use stuff. Instead of buying single-use stuff, which can generate a lot of waste, consider buying multi-use stuff. Do you really need cleaners for the kitchen counter, kitchen sink, kitchen floor, kitchen windows, and kitchen doors? By switching to a single multi-purpose cleaner, you could not only reduce waste, but also save yourself money. Another area to think about is products used for personal care. Switching to multi-purpose items will not only save money, but is also a good option for the environment. Tip number 16, shop second hand. One of the best ways to save money and live a frugal lifestyle is to consider shopping second-hand before purchasing something brand new. I know there's some items that you would never buy used, and that is perfectly fine. But there are a lot of items that can be bought used at a significant discount. You can get practically new clothes at charity shops, get lightly used furniture on Facebook Marketplace, and so forth. By switching to second-hand, you could not only save thousands easily, but it also gives the item a second home and again reduces the amount going to a waste fill. Tip number 17, drink more water. We all need to stay hydrated. Do you have an idea of how much water you drink versus other beverages? Purchasing all kinds of bottled beverages can weigh a lot on your monthly budget. Moreover, most beverages contain unhealthy ingredients as well. So you won't only be doing your budget a favor, but your body as well. Water is usually the cheapest bottled beverage you can buy at a supermarket. Yeah, if you live somewhere where tap water is fine to drink, consider switching to drinking tap water as it's practically free. Tip number 18, manage your time mindfully. Remember the saying, time is money. Well, frugal people understand the importance of managing your time to maximize happiness. This does not mean that you have to rush through life and adhere to a tight schedule. Rather, it means that you should value your time as a limited resource. Every second of your life happens only once. What you do with it is up to you. Therefore, a frugal life will require good time management skills. You do not want to waste your time with things that don't mean anything to you. For example, going out to please people that mean nothing to you is a waste of your time. Instead, focus your time on things that make you happy. This could be your children, your hobby, or even your job. Tip number 19, make the most of what you have. I'm sure for a lot of us, we can look into our wardrobes and cupboards and find that there's so many awesome things that we already possess. And even though they may not be new and shiny, they can still fulfill their purposes. Making sure to treat each possession you own with care will reduce the desire to buy new products unnecessarily. If something breaks, try to repair it instead of replacing it instantly. And only if it's truly broken, then think about repurposing it or purchasing another item to take its place. Tip number 20, be mindful about your resource use. So much about frugal living is about being mindful of our resources and making the most of them. From simple things like turning off the lights, ensuring the tap is closed, and turning off the heating during summer can have a huge impact on your finances. So become more aware of how much energy you are using and wasting, and make the step to only use it when you need it. Another tip is, where possible, use reusable items, and this will save you money fast, as well as make your life less cluttered and help you live frugally and be happy. And tip number 21, shop for Christmas throughout the year. Christmas should never surprise anyone because it's on the same day every year. Buying gifts for everyone in November and December is not only a chore, but it's also expensive. You never get a good deal on your gifts at this time, as prices are inflated, as it's the season of giving, and many people aren't concerned about how much they are spending. However, it's important to plan early and get your Christmas items throughout the year. In fact, set aside money each month for big purchases so you don't have to put any money on a credit card when Christmas comes along. And take advantage of sales as they pop up throughout the year. And this will save you a substantial amount of money. Let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite frugal living tip that you are going to be trying out this year? All the videos mentioned will be linked in the description below. Please don't forget to hit that like button and share this video with someone who wants to make a positive change to their finances. Also, check out these videos which will show you my favorite frugal living tips that have saved me thousands of pounds last year. And until the next video, take care. Happy frugal living. Bye.